Good morning. How are you today? Good good to be here with you. Happy Wednesday. I hope your week is going well and hopefully you're doing a lot of great things. So, remember how we were talking about how it's really important to show up. Keep showing up even if things look dismal or don't look like they're going in the direction that you want. Keep showing up because you never know what God has in store and what God has planned. And you never know who you'll run into. You'll never know who you'll see, what someone might tell you, an opportunity. And so, even sometimes when we don't feel like doing something, it's just really important to kind of like go anyway and stir up the energy to go anyway, just because of that. Also, it's challenging yourself, and it can be really challenging. For example, if you're not feeling that well, to, you know, put yourself in a positive frame of mind and really exercise that muscle. And so, doing that over time will really help to build that muscle, and you can really be powerful in terms of, uh, you know, putting yourself in the type of mood and energy necessary for whatever situation that you're in order to be successful and to garner success, because we have to show up and we have to do things in order to bring results and bring success. And sometimes we don't always feel like doing those things, but it's important to do those things for others and also for yourself so that you can continue to grow. It's all about growth and improvement and being stronger, being better, maybe than you were yesterday. And so, challenging yourself to do the things that you might not necessarily want to do is one way to, just continue to grow in your consistency and grow in your ability to, no matter what the situation or circumstance or what may have happened, I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to give the performance or whatever it may be necessary for that situation. That way, you're not, like the Bible mentions, like, you know, put to and fro and just at the mercy of whatever it is that's going on in the environment and whatever is occurring with a certain circumstance or with respect to certain individuals. But you're going to be your own leader, your own person, and do what's necessary, do what the situation calls for. So, hopefully, you were able to do something positive, something beneficial for yourself. We talk a lot about, if you can, first thing in the morning or as soon as possible, try to do those things that are important for you, that are important to you, that have value to you, that's going to put your life in a at a place where um, it's just going to be the type of life that you want. Sometimes that requires adjustment. Sometimes that might not be able to happen right away, but try to make the adjustments to make that happen so that you can be excited about life and you can be motivated um, in each and every day. Each and every day. It's so important to do stuff that we like each and every day, to be around the types of people that we want to be around each and every day, that influence us and inspire us. And oftentimes that'll give you more energy and help you to do more because of even some of the smallest interactions or activities that were important to you. So I was looking in First John, First John 5:15, and it talks about, and if we know that He hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we asked of Him. And if we know that he hears us, whatever we ask, we know that we have what we asked of him. So we know and we believe before it's even done that we have it. And we walk around with that mindset, and we walk around with that frame of mind, knowing that it's done already, because you're in God's will, you're in alignment with him, you're doing things positively, and you've asked for it. And God already knew even before you asked for it. And so it shall be something that you will receive, and it might be in God's timing. And so we need to wait, like that. I think one of those verses talks about it will not tarry, but we wait, but it will occur and it will show up. And so we really have to believe. And so we ask God in prayer to increase our faith. Really ask for him to increase your faith and your trust in him, so that we can not become discouraged. Discouragement can really, be frustrating and take us off course, but we cannot be discouraged. We just have to believe, 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 and be positive, and know that it will happen, and know that it's done. And how powerful is that? That no matter what anyone says, or what you see naturally, spiritually, you never know what's in store. So I was also looking at Matthew 22. Matthew 22, 36 or so. And the leadership was asking Jesus, which which is the greatest commandment in the law? And Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and so forth hang on these two commandments. So love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. So, how great would things be if we could increase our ability to love? As we know, the Bible talks about God is love, and we want to be more loving. And we've talked a lot about giving people grace, being patient, being compassionate, being merciful, and just knowing that God will take care of everything. He will work it all out. And so we don't have to take everything on ourselves. We just have to be loving, and then anything that needs to be addressed or resolved, he'll take care of. And so, like I said, whether it's giving people grace, being forgiving, being understanding, and not only to do that, but also because we want to receive that type of treatment. And so we want to be able to give what we would like to receive. And like it talks about, God will not be mocked. And so, we want to reap what we sow, and we're sowing seeds of forgiveness, of grace, of mercy, of compassion, of patience, of love, and then receiving that in return. Um, in Ephesians 4, for example, Ephesians 4:2, it says, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. So it says, be completely humble and gentle. I think in another place it talks about being and remaining like a young person. Just being totally humble. And it likens Jesus to like a sheep or a lamb, which is a very humble animal. And so we want to be humble and gentle. In another place in the Bible, it talks about always be prepared to give an answer, but do it gently. So, you draw more people in versus turning them away. but be completely humble and gentle. So, we have no reason to be anything other than humble, because everything that we have, everything that we've received, everything that we've quote unquote accomplished, everything that we are is given to us from God. It's all been given to us from God. Our ability to generate wealth. He formed us. Um, he knew us. Uh, all the good things, every good gift is from the Lord. All those different verses. So, and if we're going to boast about anything, boast about Christ. So we know that it's totally reasonable and appropriate for us to be humble, because how much have we really done on our own auspices without the Lord's help, without Him being this ultimate source? Be gentle. So, like I said, or like it says in other places, be to be quicker to listen versus to speak. Um, that's one of the ways too that you can kind of demonstrate gentleness, is you're just more willing to listen. You're not so quick to speak. You're just in more of a gentle state, and also gentle in terms of, if there is somewhat of a wrongdoing, you don't you're not easily or quickly upset or angered. Be patient. It goes on to say, be patient, bearing with one another in love. Patience is huge. A lot of us, we say we have patience, and we are patient, but really, really, really being patient in terms of really being willing to wait and to allow other people, for example, to go first, or giving them the time that they really need. And also not becoming upset in the interim, but really just giving people time and space. Being patient with ourselves if things haven't happened quickly. Just remembering to be patient and to exhibit patience. And then it says, bearing with one another in love. So again, that loving piece, like it says, God is love. And so um, just being more loving, having a more loving posture, bearing with one another in love. So really putting forth love first and being loving. Like we've talked about so many times, like show thyself friendly. If you'd like friends, show thyself friendly. Then also talks about peace. So just being peaceful. There's a lot of different places in here. It talks about how things can become quarrels and strifes, in particular over words. And so just trying to distance from that, so that there can just be more peace, and just understanding that, you know, let God take care of things. And we don't always need to be right, and things like that. Um, it talks about in 22, so we're still in Ephesians 4:22. The former way of life, putting off your old self, being made new in the attitude of your minds, and putting on the new self. So, renewing our minds, how it talks about like that in another verse, and being made new in the attitude of our minds. And that's why mindset, like we're talking about, is so important. And you might have to redirect yourself all day long, and it's work, but it's so important, because that's how you're going to stay in the right frame of mind to get the things done that you need to get done, to do and say the things that should be said and done versus those that shouldn't, and just keep your energy high and just really be hopeful. We need a lot of faith and hope, because there's so many things that so many of us need or maybe desire. If we're like the verse says, if we're delighting ourselves in the Lord, He'll give us the desires of our heart. We have these different desires on our heart, and so we want to stay in the right frame of mind that those will come to fruition. like we talked about in the beginning here, believe whatever it is that you ask and that you have. In Ephesians 4:32, towards the bottom, towards the end, it talks about be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. So we want to lean towards kindness, which is like a fruit of the Spirit, like we've discussed, lean towards compassion, lean towards forgiveness. And the thing is that He forgave us. He forgave us. We've talked about that verse, how we comfort others with the comfort that we've received. So He's showing us all these things. He's already forgiven us. He's comforted us. And so then we can go out and do that with others. And I think in another verse it says, you'll show that you know me or God by the way you love one another. Um, so again, just we've been talking a lot about the fruit of the Spirit, the joy, the love, peace, goodness, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, things like that. And so we want to really exercise those fruits of the Spirit and really bolster those fruits of the Spirit, which can come also by asking God, but then also putting them into practice and having that be your posture and your first go-to in many situations. Um, his ways, that verse, his ways are higher than our ways. His understanding, his thoughts are higher than ours. We just trust in him that if we have that bend first, that's going to be the most appropriate thing to do. That's going to be the one that's going to bring about the most success and better our lives. So we trust in him to do as he says so that our lives can be better. He gave us all this information so that we can do it. It talks about that verse, don't just be hearers of the word, but doers of the word, and then have a better situation for ourselves. So let's go ahead and pray. So, God and Father, here we are again, where we are in agreement, there you are with us. We know that whatever we ask in your name, your Father will do it in heaven. And so we ask that you provide supernatural healing, that you heal everyone, all these various illnesses and injuries and surgeries that may be coming up, and any hospitalizations and wounds and accidents, that you be with us, provide us with the clarity that we need to make the decisions that we need to make, and help everything to be speedy recoveries, and comfort those who are alongside with these individuals and the individual as they navigate these different physicalities and physical situations that might be distressful. And God, we ask that you meet everyone's financial needs, that you find a way and keep them strong as they negotiate and navigate different opportunities and financial endeavors and situations and things that have arisen. Sometimes it can be tricky, and give everyone the calm and the peace and the language and the understanding of what to ask for and to receive the things that they've asked for. And for the people who are responsible for responding and making those things happen, help again that to happen in a quick and speedy way, so people can have more of the peace like that you've talked about and that we've talked about, knowing that things have been taken care of, and so they can do the planning. You talk about how who builds without first planning and calculating the cost and things like that, and we want to be able to do those things knowing what's in store for us, and also how we may be able to be generous, how we may be able to have some abundance and then be sharing with others, and how we can represent you with our funds and what we receive. And God, we ask you to be in all the social situations, all the different relationships and connections that are being formed, have not yet been formed, that are already formed. How do we establish those? How do we build those? How do we maintain those? Provide us with all the confidence and boldness to make those things happen, and then provide us with the language and the actions and the ideas to build those connections that are important to us and maintain them. Um, Provide us and both parties with the necessary, posture so that we're compassionate and kindness is being shown and forgiveness is being shown and patience is being showed. Help clear the path and smooth things out so both parties and others that may be involved or understand each other, and things go off in a positive, great way, and help it to be situations that embolden us and bolster us, whether it's mentorship type situations. Oftentimes, other individuals or friends or what have you are farther along than us, and they can teach us things and help us to get stronger in certain areas, and maybe we're stronger in other areas and we're helping them. So, just a really win win type relationship. Help everyone to finish all the different things that they've started. We know that you talk about how you will finish that good work that you've started in us. Some people are awaiting response to get into different programs or regarding schooling, and some people are trying to wrap things up, and some people may have become stuck. Again, help clear the path and get people around the right individuals, and you know let things start to move and get wrapped up, and let there be accomplishment and a lot of feelings of good feelings from having done that with you and with your help and assistance. And God, help us to be healthy, help us to know what it is that we need to do, what type of sleep and nutrition and exercise and um, different things that we can do to get stronger and be more vibrant and have vitality and so forth. And help everyone's transportation to be reliable and to get them to the places that they need to go, and help everyone to just really hold on. Please increase our faith and our trust. Help us to trust in the Lord, to wait on the Lord, as you say, and increase our faith. And if this is a challenge that we're faced with or that we're going through, help us to meet that challenge, to understand that it's a challenge and that you're wanting us to grow and be strong and finally be able to overcome challenges and still be consistent and still meet deadlines and not get totally thrown off because of all the different challenges that occur in life, that are occurring and that will continue to occur and will occur in the future. So help us to really master when that kind of thing happens, and um, deal with all the situations, everything that's on our hearts. Provide us with understanding and help us to read your word so we can hear from you about some answers to some of the matters that we have. And provide us with favor. We always ask for favor and blessing. We need it so badly. We need your hand in so many things that we're currently dealing with and working on. And with you involved, that is how we know it will become a success. When we don't have you involved, um, you know, how can it be honored and protected and blessed? And so we ask that you be involved, so whatever it is that we're doing or pursuing or desiring, that it will be honored and blessed and protected. And that's why we wait on you, so that it's something that you will be involved with and that we're in alignment with you. So we ask all these things in Jesus Christ's name. Amen. All right. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Do a little bit of whatever it is that you need to do so that you keep moving things along, and things don't get overwhelming when we just let it wait. And then I know it can be tough, but and then when we do a little bit here and there and one thing at a time, ultimately one day it gets done. And that can be very exciting and help clear our plates, and also so we can have more peace, like we've talked about, getting and having and maintaining peace. And so it was a pleasure to connect with you, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.